I'm a big fan of classic horror movies and classic 3D movies. Yet when Kino Lorber announced that it was releasing a 3D Blu-ray of a 1968 movie called Frankenstein's Bloody Terror, featuring a print that was restored by 3D Film Archive, I had no idea what to think. I had never heard of this movie, but there felt like enough of a schlocky charm here to merit purchase, and I'm glad I did. This 3D Blu-ray includes a reversible cover and a cardboard slipcover. The slipcover on the left features art from the original poster from its 1968 release, while the reversible cover features the original art and art from the poster for the American release in 1971. This film was originally called The Mark of the Wolfman, and it was one of the first horror films to star Paul Naschy. Naschy was a Spanish actor who was greatly inspired by the horror films made by Universal and Hammer Studios, and he was determined to bring movies about vampires, werewolves, mummies, and other classic creatures to Spanish audiences. Naschy would go on to star in many Spanish horror movies throughout his career, although his werewolf character is regarded as his signature monster role. Interestingly, some of Naschy's horror films made it to our local video store when I was growing up in the 80s, although I had no idea of their significance at the time. Those films were the three you see here: The Craving, Crimson, and Exorcism. The distribution history of Frankenstein's Bloody Terror is more complicated than the movie itself. Mark of the Wolfman was released outside of Spain under a number of lurid titles, including Hell's Creatures and The Knights of Satan. The title of Frankenstein's Bloody Terror was used for the release in the United States by producer Sam Sherman. Sherman wanted to distribute his film, Dracula vs. Frankenstein, as part of a double feature, and he needed another Frankenstein movie to fulfill the requirements of this arrangement. Mark of the Wolfman had nothing to do with Frankenstein, but that didn't stop Sherman from acquiring Naschy's werewolf film and changing its title to include the word Frankenstein. He even cut the first reel of the original film, where all the characters are introduced, and replaced it with a convoluted voiceover explanation as to how the Frankenstein name connects to this movie. It's as bad as it sounds. Thankfully, the disc includes the 2D version of the original opening, so you can see what was cut. The commentary tracks on the Blu-ray go into great detail about this film's production and distribution, and I highly recommend listening to these tracks if you pick up this disc. The movie itself is simple and formulaic. The script was written by Naschy himself, which was his first script as a screenwriter. It definitely shows. It feels like Naschy had a checklist of what he wanted to see in a monster movie and then wrote the film in that order. The dialogue is very clunky, and it leans heavily into exposition. There's no strong character work here or complicated plot developments. It's largely a standard werewolf story that also includes vampires. Yet for as flimsy as Frankenstein's Bloody Terror feels at times, it's actually a very stylish and enjoyable film. You can see the influence of classic Universal and Hammer Studio films in its cinematography and set designs, and many of the shots were arranged to provide a layered appearance to maximize the 3D format. Naschy's enthusiasm for the material shines through in spite of his inexperience as a scriptwriter, and the restoration work that the 3D Film Archive did for the stereoscopic print looks fantastic. This disc also includes an anaglyph 3D version of the film, in case you don't have a 3D TV set and a 3D Blu-ray player. Between the great 3D restoration, the bonus features, and the film itself, I would recommend Kino's 3D Blu-ray release of Frankenstein's Bloody Terror, especially for fans of classic monster movies. Besides, it's the only Paul Naschy horror film in 3D, so it's definitely worth adding to your 3D horror collection. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to comment below and click like and subscribe for more 3D content.